Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to join us on tonight. I am joined with a few of these lovely ladies. All of these ladies who are with me tonight on our panel are our Hello Again moms. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, so I won't even start. But anyway, we want to give some more people some time to come in. Please like, tag, and share this video with anybody who you know who have lost a child or who has lost children. Tonight, we're going to be discussing my book that I wrote, Hello Again, The Other Side of the Rainbow. Also, we're going to be just talking about our angels as well, and we're going to be talking about the many faces of grief. So just take the time if you know someone who's hurting, who just needs to, a healing on tonight, or to hear something therapeutic, or you think that this live may help them. Please take the time to like, tag, and share this video as we get started on tonight. We don't want to prolong the time anymore. But again, thank you guys for taking the time to join. We're just trying to give some more people some time to just come on in. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather myself, but nevertheless, we want to just push on and come on and make sure that this absolutely took place on tonight. We thank you guys for taking time out your busy schedules to come and listen and hear what we have to say as we break this thing down and talk about the many faces and the many different sides of grief. Again, we're also going to be discussing my book, Hello Again, The Other Side of the Rainbow as well. So with that being said, I thank you guys so much on tonight. I don't take this lightly at all. I thank you guys for choosing to join me on tonight, because you guys could have been doing any other thing that you wanted to do. And again, as we get ready to get started, I ask that you guys mute your phones so that each person can be heard. But before you mute your phones, you're going to introduce yourself, and then we'll just kind of get started and just go from there. Again, if this is your first time joining, my name is Dominique McFarland. I am the founder of Hello Again and also Naomi's Tribe. And Hello Again is simply a organization and a family for parents and families who've lost children. We provide help and aid for our families, and we just want to make sure that we offer our services to all our parents for free. Everything that we do is for free and to help aid and serve our community. So again, thank you guys for joining us as we talk about the many faces of grief on tonight. So we're going to start this way. And go ahead, Monica, and just take time and introduce yourself to the people on tonight.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Monica. I'm out of Los Angeles, California, and I am the mother of two daughters, a 25-year-old girl who is my angel baby, and an 18-year-old girl, or daughters, young women, who just started college. So happy to be here today. Not happy because I'm here, but happy to be with you ladies and to just find community in the group.
Thank you so much, Monica. I appreciate you being on. All right, next we're gonna start at the bottom this way.
Hello, my name is Angela Moses, and I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. I'm a wife, and I'm a mother of 6. And I'm here with my because of my angel daughter Jada. She's my oldest.
Thank you for being with us, Miss Angela. I appreciate you. All right, next.
My name is Chanda Graham. I'm from Lake City, South Carolina. I live in Florence, but I'm born and raised Lake City. And I am here because of my angel son, Rashad Graham. I have 2 sons, Marquel, who is 25, and Rashad is my angel.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to join me on tonight. My angels are Mykese and Mayan McFarland. When they transitioned, they were 17 and 12 years old. Now they are 19 and 23 years old. So we wanted just to kind of come on and be kind of honest with our audience on tonight and kind of introduce our angels from our eyes to yours, so that you can kind of get a little glimpse or insight of how we feel about our children. And although our children have transitioned, they're still very much a part of our lives day to day. It's not a day go by, and I can say this, and I know every mom or parent and father who's watching can attest to this. It's not a day go by that you don't miss your children. It's not a day go by that you don't think about your children. It's not a day go by that you don't wrestle with your spirituality and your humanity at the same time. So we just want to be honest and candid about the way that we feel. And we want to be honest about what grief really does to your emotions and your mental health. And we want to talk about the things that are taboo, that are often not talked about, because either one, we feel like we're not safe enough, or either two, we feel like our faith is failing us, or whatever the case may be. We just want to dispel every myth about grief, and let you guys know that it's okay not to be okay, and it is okay to be okay as well, because we're all in different phases of grief. So with that being said, Monica, take time and introduce us to your angel and tell us a little bit about your baby.
Okay, my angel baby's name is Lamana. When she transitioned, she was a month from her 23rd birthday. She had just graduated from college 2 weeks before she passed. She graduated with a BA in psychology. She was also a model, super cheerful. Growing up in high school, she was all American track star, top 10 in the state. She was just well, she is, I just, she's just everything. She walked in the room and she just lit the room up. My younger daughter kind of described her as she could lead a whole army, even though she had no idea what she was doing, just because of how confident she was and the way she would speak to people. And I had her at 19, so we kind of grew up together, so it was crazy. I'm in my 40s now, but I would wind up talking to her a lot, and she would give me advice. And of course, when she took psychology, she thought she was she just knew everything. She read one book, she thinks she knew everything in the world, so she would give me advice. And she was just a really happy person. And we had a conversation 2 weeks before she passed. She actually passed from a long illness she had for about 5 years, and she wasn't expected to pass or anything like that. She was fine, but about 2 weeks or so, before she passed, we were having a heart-to-heart. And she told me, she said, Mom, I could be gone at any moment. I could be gone at any time. And I was like, girl, what are you talking about? You're fine. Like, just take your medicine. You're good. And she said, no, I'm fine, because I know there's something after this. I know there's a heaven, and I know I'll be okay. So I'm just going to do what I have to do. But if I have to go, don't worry about me, because I'll be just fine. And that was a conversation we had 2 weeks before she unexpectedly passed. And that sticks with me. And it was like she left me advice before she left, but she was just like a ray of sunshine. She got on my nerves, of course, like any kid gets on your nerves. She was full of life. But now I realize, of course, they say hindsight is 2020. Everybody she touched, she was just a light. And now I really am like, man, she was really like an angel. Like, she came here, she did what she needed to do. And now she's just, waiting on the other side till I get there. But just a ball of light, just anything and everything you could think of, just energy, just walking, happy, glowing energy. She would be 25 now. I still say she's 25. It's weird not weird, but for me, I feel like I can't physically see her, but I know she's still around. And so for me, I just say, she's 25 now. I don't know how old she'll be when I get to see her, but I know she's 25 now, and I know she's good. And like you said, I miss her, but I know that I'll get to see her again. So it's just the missing part.
Thank you for sharing your angel with us. And that was so touching. I like, as you were talking, I got the vibe or the energy as if she's still here. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of times we all be in different spaces with grief. And some parents hadn't gotten to the point where they can feel like they can talk about their children, and it's okay,
Mm-hmm.
as if they're still here, if they can even say their names at all. So the fact that I can feel, it's almost like I'm getting to know her literally through you. And
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you having the courage and taking the time to share your daughter with us on tonight. Miss Angela,
Mm-hmm.
introduce us to your baby as well.
My angel is Jada. She was my oldest, and everybody I know me call her the mama hen because she thought she could root everybody. Um, she was very outgoing. She left us with a 3-year-old little girl. She's 4 now. Jada was 37 when she passed. She would have been 38, but she's 38 now. But the life she lived has speak for herself. She did more in 37 years than I did in 57 years. So she travels. She lived life. She gave her daughter the heaven on earth. And I was like, why are you buying so much stuff for this girl? Why are you doing so much stuff? But now I realize now it was for the time such as this. And when she passed, her baby was here with her. So she even though she was 3, she retells the whole story. And she always say, Mommy love me. And other times she would say, like, it's her mama going out of town. When mommy coming home? Since her mama passed, she have not asked when mommy coming home. She said, I was crying one day. She said, Grandma, why are you crying? Because mommy happy. Mommy smiling. Oh, it only been, well, it'll be 11 months on the 11th on September, and it's still hard. She was everything. She was like a best friend. We could talk about anything. We did anything. She would say, Mama, on the way from her work, let's stop by and get your nails and toes done because I already paid for it. Mama, go at your dinner because I already paid. It was just like she knew, like she felt her death. I don't know what she felt, but it's just like she felt it because she did everything. I mean, she traveled. She went to Aruba. She went to Aruba a couple times. Anyway she wanted to go, anything she wanted to do within 37 years, 3 months and 27 days, she lived life, and she lived life to the fullest. And her baby keeping me, she keeping us. She said, Grandma, she said, she said, Mommy, Grandma, you know what? I think my mama had heart trouble. She said, but Grandma, my mama heart is better now. My mama got a new heart now. And just knowing her at 3, she's 4 now, but at 3, speaking that, it helping me along the way, even though it's still hard. But I miss her so much. And that was my angel, Jada.
Thank you for sharing Jada with us on tonight. That was beautiful. And you know what? As you know, we often hear all the time, out of the mouth of babes. And children are so pure and they're so sensitive to life and to the things of death as well. They're so pure that God can really use them. They're so open to be able to minister to us when we dealing with transition, or you dealing with especially their siblings, and if like it's your grandbaby, her mom, they're very sensitive to the spirit world, to God. So thank you for sharing that with us. It's very encouraging. Okay, Shonda.
Okay, my angel is Rashad. Rashad transitioned when he was 26 years old. He will be 30 in October. So it's been 2 years and 4 months that we've been missing him. But Rashad, he lit up the room wherever he went. He graduated high school 2012. He attended the Citadel in Charleston. That he was very proud of those two things, being a native of Lake City, and his work at the Citadel. He taught for 2 years. He mentored so many kids, as well as even adults, because he touched so many lives. Um, just like I think it was Monica said about growing up together. When I had Rashad when I was 20, so we kind of grew up together, and I think he gave me just as much, if not more, advice as I gave him.
Mhm.
Um, he was just a bright, loving child. It was just so easy to love him. Everywhere he went, everybody did. He could walk in the room of 20 people and make everybody feel special. How he did it, I don't know, but he did. And it just amazed me that at his homegoing service, or around those days leading to, everybody said, I just talked to Rashad yesterday, or I just talked to Rashad last week. I could call him. We talked almost every morning. 5, 6 o'clock was our time. And very few mornings that we missed, because sometimes he would want to sleep in. But he would call me, and if I missed his call, I would try to call him back, and I was not getting him. I may as well wait until lunchtime, because he had already moved on to the next person. I don't know how he did it. I have tried it myself since his passing, but it is not for me. That is something God gave him. But he just was in touch with everybody, checking on everybody, making sure everybody was okay. And it was like he was definitely, in hindsight, an angel, and God put him here to do a work, and he did what he had to do in his 26 years. And I just look forward to the day that we meet again.
Amen. Thank you so much for sharing your son with us, your angel with us. My son's, my baby boy, is kind of like what you were saying, Shonda, about your son. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. If you know Scooby, then you know Scooby. He literally, you ever seen, remember when Michael Jackson walked on those steps and they lit up on Billie Jean on the video? That's how my eye was when he went in the room. It just, each step just lit up. He was the life of the party. He gonna get the party started. He gonna flip. He gonna dance. He was very, very energetic, and you can tell when he was entering into the room, and you could tell when he exited the room. That's for sure. And my oldest son, he was a quiet, humble person, but his silence was so loud that he was noticeable as well. He was a mentor on the band. He taught different kids in the summer camp during the summer how to play different instruments. He got nominated, or he was elected as the percussionist, the percussion leader, excuse me, the last year that he was on the band, and that was such a high honor for them. And to this day, Darlington High has a band camp in honor of them, and I thank God for that, that their legacy can go on. And it's just amazing. I can definitely tell that they were here. You know, oftentimes when our children, if you've lost a child, in our hearts, sometimes it seems like they are forgotten, because people do go on. And we talked about a lot of this in the master class on this past Saturday, how, you know, everybody go back to frying their fish and going to the yard sales and having their cookouts and having their family get-togethers, or whatever the case may be. You resort back to life. And we have to learn literally how to say hello again to life for real on this side of things. And in our world, it's never the same. It's never normal. And sometimes we'll have a tendency to retreat or to be in isolation because the world looks so different now. And we really don't know how to relate or to cope. You might see a smile, you might see, you know, the outer that we look fine or everything seems to be okay. But we learn all too well how to grace you guys if you hadn't lost a child with the mask. But we're trying really hard to learn how to take it down and be acceptable on this side. Because if it was up to me, I would want to just talk about them constantly all the time, to just because. And that's something that's hard to understand when you hadn't lost the children. I mean, excuse me, you had lost a child, and it hurt even worse when you see your nieces and nephews and cousins and your friends' children that get to the age that your child was, or surpassed the age that they was here on this side. It's a hellified thing. It really is. So that's why I'm grateful for tonight, for this forum where we can actually be transparent about our feelings and really, you know, put things on notice of what this thing really does to you internally, and how you can try to heal and make it to the other side of the rainbow. And we're going to try to touch on that tonight as well in the small time frame that we have. And we're going to get to the comments in the comment section. If not, we will be replying to the comments after the live is over. So I thank God for all of you. I can't even see the names. It's just saying Facebook user here on the comment section. I can see Karen. Hey, Karen. Karen Conyers. She's a hello again, mom. She said, good evening, warrior moms. How are you? You are a warrior mom yourself, Miss Karen. It's so good to see that you're on. Someone else says sending love to you all. And also one mom is on saying, my name is Maria. She's a mom of 6. Hi, Maria. Thank you so much. And another mom is saying that she has a son that passed away. His name was Isaiah. And I think she's saying he's 14. I'm not sure, but the comments will be posted as well. I'm using my phone tonight, so it's kind of hard for me to really post them and talk at the same time. But you guys are noticed. Thank you for commenting here as well. So again, with that being said, we've introduced you to our angels, and we've had a chance to kind of get to know them just a little bit through our eyes as well. So let's jump into some excerpts of with the book. You guys have all read the book. I wrote a book called Hello Again, The Other Side of the Rainbow, and you can get the book off Amazon as well. And I must say that it's a very therapeutic book. It's a good read, and it actually is helping me now. I have to go back myself and read my own work, my own book, because it's truth and it's life in the book. So I don't want to say too much. I want you guys to hear from their end. So we'll start with you, Monica. You can tell me a little bit about what made you get it, what made you want to purchase the book, and what did you get from it, or what questions do you have? Just kind of, break it down for me a little bit.
Well, the reason I purchased the book, when my daughter passed, which was about a little over 2 years ago, kind of close to like 2 months, 2.5 years, something like that. But within that first year, I was just mad. I was mad at God. I was mad at everybody. I was just bewildered. I didn't know if I was going or coming. I don't even know how I made it. Couldn't even tell you what happened for that whole year. I don't even know how. I don't know how it was, the pandemic had just started because it was 2020. Everybody was going crazy marching. I couldn't see nothing. I was just, I don't know. I was just shook. But maybe after about a year or so, I started looking online for some type of help. I had a therapist that I was seeing in person, which was good. But the thing is, with the therapist, unless they've lost a child, they're reading from a book. Unless they've really, until we lost children, we had no idea what this really felt like, because
Right.
we would hear somebody lost someone. All we could tell them was, I'm praying for you to let me know if I can do something. But the pain, the pain, you're like almost walking dead. That's how you feel
Yes.
when you first lose a child. You're walking, you don't even, it's just, you guys know, but it is just the most worst thing. I think it's one of the worst things that can happen in this world, unless your child got kidnapped and you don't know where they are, or unless someone, they got killed in front of your face. That's worse. But losing your child is probably one of the worst things you can have happen to you in life, is how I feel. But so I was online and I was looking for some more help besides what my therapist was telling me, which was stuff that he read in a book. And I came across your page on YouTube. And really what I was looking for was not someone that was like falling out and, I can't get up, but somebody that could help lift me up. And when I saw your story, I don't know what drew me to your story or how I landed on your page, but it was like even though, and I saw actually a couple of your posts. The first one was, I think, when it had just happened, and you had longer hair. And then I saw one a little while later, and I kind of saw how you were transitioning into being more healthier yourself, or to kind of walking through the steps. So I started looking on YouTube and following your story that way. So then from YouTube, I then found you on Facebook, because I think you had a link on your YouTube for Facebook. And then I joined the group, and it just kind of, at the beginning, I would just kind of like look at the group, look at some of this, look at the other parents. And what it made me feel was, well, I'm not alone, and when this happens, you don't normally have people around you that just lost kids. You're like the only person. It seems like it's not a lot of people that just can say they lost their kids. So there's not anybody you can just turn to. There's people that's been divorced, or people that have gone through this, that, but not losing a kid.
That's right.
So, it was kind of like a community that, inspirational of some of the things the parents were saying. And I just saw that I wasn't alone. And so then when you wrote the book, I was like, well, let me get the book and let me, see what she's saying in the book. And I tuned into some lives before and things like that. And it was crazy. My therapist always tried to hand me paperwork saying, here's, a group, and here's a grief group. And I was so scared I was going to get in the wrong group and it was going to turn me off to this type of thing.
Right.
And so when I found this one, I just kind of, gravitated to it. So that's how I ended up reading the book.
I'm so glad that you did. Let me ask you this. When you finished the book, what did you feel?
When I finished the book, there was two things that I kind of took from the book, I can say. When I finished the book, I really just felt at the beginning of the book, I guess that's the way I can explain how felt at the end of the book.
Okay.
But at the beginning of the book, one of the main things that I was having such a hard time with, and I feel probably a lot of parents do, is that why me? You know, why did I get picked for this? What did I do wrong? God must be mad at me. I must have did this sin. Of course, we all sin, but I'm thinking about when I was 20, I did this, and oh, I was messing with this guy here, and oh, I might have did this, or I should have did that, or I
Yeah.
mean, I just went through a laundry list of things as to what I had did wrong, and I was like, well, I'm not a murderer, I'm not a killer. I thought I was a great mom. I really tried, and I just really felt condemned. And in the book, when you told, the part that really got me is when you told about your beginning of how your life started. Like, you were in the church, you had a normal family, you met your husband, you had your kids. You didn't seem out of the ordinary to me. You seemed similar to me. Like, okay,
Mhm.
she was just living her life. She was doing her thing. When she went to the beach, she wasn't going there to party. She was celebrating with her kids. She was celebrating a birthday. She was being a good mom. She was at the beach with her kids being a good mom. So why does this happen to a good mom? You know, and so even though I couldn't specifically answer that question, what I took from the book was that I'm not alone. This type of thing can happen to anyone. And it made me feel comfort in that a person that seemed similar to me, that was just trying to raise their kids, unfortunately had this type of thing happen to them, but that I wasn't by myself and that I didn't do anything wrong. It just, happened for whatever reason. Maybe God will let me know the answer later. But what I took from the book was it really gave me peace that I'm not the only person walking through this type of a situation.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. First of all, thank you for believing in me enough to even purchase the book. Thank you
No,
so much
definitely.
for taking the time to go out of your way and purchase the book. And thank you for
Definitely.
your support. I
Hmm.
appreciate that. I really, really do. And before we
Hmm.
get in with Miss Angela, I see Miss Tracy Talbert Jacobs is on tonight. You guys just don't know. Tracy holds a special, special place in my heart. Hey, Tracy, it's so good to see you on. It just melted my heart when I saw your name pop up. Tracy's daughter and my baby boy went to the same school, and it was so ironic and eerie. Emily is her daughter, and my aunt transitioned. Him and Emily they went to the same school, and they transitioned around, I think it's the same time, right, Tracy? And she sent me a beautiful card and a letter, and it was absolutely touching. And it was just, we both were coming back. I'm coming off of summer. My son was supposed to be getting ready to prepare to go to high school, and never made it. He was just short of a month from turning 13 years old. And when I found out about Emily, and I was like, oh my God, another mom that in my hometown and go to the same school as my aunt, went going through the same thing over the same summer. It was just eerie. But ever since then, we hadn't met face to face, but it's like you ever had such a divine connection with some of the parents that you come across here, or a parent that you've met who lost a child? You can't explain it, but that's the way Tracy is with me. I think about her often, a certain time of the year. I don't have to inbox her. I know what she's feeling because we went through it around the same time. So it's like engraved into my heart. She is, and her angel Emily is. So I just wanted to make sure I said that. Tracy, thank you so much for being on tonight. It means a lot to me. So with that being said, Miss Angela, tell me, well, let me ask you the same thing that I asked Monica. Um, the book, what did you feel, or is it a certain part of the book that you wanted to talk about, or what stood out to you the most, or what rung in your soul the most to help you from one point of your grieving process to the next point?
Okay, I'm originally from the country down there, so I knew your story. Even came to your house when your boys had transitioned, but
Wow.
that one made me. When my daughter passed, I know you had been through what you've been through, and I saw God using you. So I say, with the God in her, and I'm saying myself, I said, this can help me along the way. So I joined Hello Again first. Then I brought the book. And when I brought the book. I said, I'm gonna read a couple pages, then I'm gonna stop. I read all the way up to page 64 before I stopped.
Wow.
When I got to page 64, I say I'm gonna save a little bit for later so that I can, read the rest of it for later. So I end up reading the rest of it. And then my thing for me, like the beginning of the book, your story was like my story, relationship with my father, and stuff. I say, dog, me and Dominique have so much in common.
Mm-hmm.
And after I read that, and then when I got in the book, there's a lot of things that stick out, but the first thing and most things stick out to me was chapter 5, the first day of the rest of my life.
Yes.
Losing my baby, who I know I had to live and try to live the best I could without her. Ooh, this ain't what nobody wants. If you hadn't been through this, you would never understand our story. You would never understand our story. This has been the hardest thing in my life. I lost my mama 4 years ago. But it's nothing like losing a child. So it was really rough. I'm reading the book, it really helped. Like I'm saying, I'm going back and reading it again because it really helped me to deal with a lot of stuff. I was angry. I was lashing out, and I wasn't the one to lash out. And if you said something to me, I clapped back at you. And I know it wasn't me. I went to my therapy, and she talked, and she said, I talked to a guy first, and he was saying, it's just like your pocketbook. If you got a pocketbook and you study putting stuff in it, and you ain't taking that out, it become heavy. He said, so your heart is becoming heavy. You got to release it. And so reading your book and stuff, and then I was saying, I started releasing some stuff. I had to lay flat before the Lord and just cry, Lord, created me a clean heart, renew the right spirit in me, because I didn't have the right spirit. I didn't even like me. So I know other people didn't like me during that time. But I know it was a part of my grieving. And your book has really helped. I thank you so much, Dominique. You just don't know how much I thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And I'm glad. You know what? First, let me say this. Thank you for coming to our home when our son's transition. Thank you, anybody who's watching who came and I didn't address you during that time. And you and moms know what I'm talking about. You be in such a fog. It is not real. You in some kind of, I don't know what kind of zone that is. It feel like the Twilight Zone. It's like this can't be. You're numb, and so you're kind of robotic, and you're going through the motions, and you're doing the courtesy thing, but you actually lost a child, but you hadn't begun to feel it yet, and you hadn't thawed out yet. The numbing process is still there to keep you mentally sane. So, I don't even remember, Miss Angela, even seeing you at
Yeah, but
the
you
house.
you actually embraced me. That was me and 3 other people came in together. But for some reason, you embraced me, and you say thank you for coming.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad
and
I did.
and that stuff, even though we going through grief, we going through this and that, but for that stuck with me during that time. I said, and then who know it was going to be me my time. It almost like it was already planned. God already had everything in order for everything to happen anyway. So, and I was like, after my daughter passed, I say, no, she embraced me, and there was 3 other women, but you chose me to embrace me. I was saying, okay, God, you up to something.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you again. I appreciate that. Miss Shonda, what about you? Tell me a little bit about what you felt about the book, and is it a particular part that you wanted to talk about per se?
First of all, I'll be honest. I purchased the book when I saw you post about doing the live, because
Mm-hmm.
since I have lost my angel, I just always, I don't know why I feel so nervous right now, y'all, please.
It's okay.
But since Rashad transitioned, I have tried to meet things head on.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the site that it happened. I went to, I don't like going to the cemetery, but that's a whole nother story. But I looked at pictures. He was always making videos. I watched his videos. I went through his things. I just tried to do everything head on because for some reason I felt like I didn't want to I didn't want to be in a bad place later, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like I said, I got the book because of this, and because I want to be open to other parents and allow them, anybody that I know that's going through, I want to allow them to see, my process in hopes that it'll help them. Um, and someone, I don't know who, introduced me to your page, and there's days when I can read what other people say
Mm-hmm.
and I can comment, and then there's days when I might just want to post something because I'm in my feelings, and there's just days when I just look and all I can do is probably say a silent prayer, and some days
Mm-hmm.
I look because I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it on my level or somebody else's.
Right.
Um, but I will say what the book did for me is just the whole hello again of it. And like Miss Angela said, the chapter 5, the first day of the rest of my life, because I feel like I am not who I was prior to my son's transition.
Right.
I feel like
Mm.
I'm in a place now of trying to figure that out again. I feel like that's probably, I don't know why I'm so nervous right now. Oh my God.
It's okay. I understand.
Like that's just where I am right now. Like I feel like I don't know who I am sometimes, a lot of times. Prior to Rashad was so motivational, and
Mm-hmm.
he was always encouraging me and whoever else, but just minding his relationship. He got me back into the gym. I lost a good bit of weight. I was just feeling myself, y'all. And I just feel like now I don't know how to get back there.
Mm. Let me say this to you, Shonda. And I work with a lot of my clients that feel exactly what you feel. And I tell them all the time, it's okay not to be okay because you're gonna have seasons of that. You might be okay an hour from now, and then 2 hours after that, you back where you are right now. And it's just the roller coaster of grief. And also, let me make sure I say this. You have to grieve who you used to be. You have to grieve who you were. And you also have to accept the whole idea that you will never be her again. And that's the whole purpose of Hello Again in general, is to learn to say hello again a lot to life in this way, on this side. Because now that you feel broken, now you feel helpless, you still got a heartbeat, you still got a pulse, you still are mortal on this side of things. We still human. And you have to begin again in the broken place that you are. I made a post yesterday that talked about the hard place. You still have to choose life in the hard place. And I talked about the word necessary, because necessary, I put it was the land where good and bad collide and conceive beautiful things within inside of us. And in order to get to that side, it has to come with acceptance of what happened. You have to give up the whole notion and the whole idea of who you used to be, because she is gone. That part of us as moms has transitioned with our children. We won't get them people back. I can't get Dominique back in the way that I knew her before. All I have to do now, all I can do now is begin again and build again from where I am right now. It's not easy. It's a difficult thing. You lose people along the way. You lose relationships, because sometimes when you're grieving this way, it causes friction inside of relationships, or cause you to shut down and be someone different. And sometimes you don't want to be touched. You don't want to talk. You don't want to do anything because it hurts so bad at certain times. And love always has the capacity to bring us back, but that doesn't make it easy. So I say to you, be encouraged in the place that you are in. This is normal that you feel this way, and you are grieving your son, your old life, your old self, and it's all a part of the process. And it hurts. I've thought about my sons all day today. I never post back to back to back to back unless it's days when I'm really missing them, and I want to add it to their pages on here on Facebook, or whatever platform that they were on. And it's something that we do to keep them alive. It's like, that's when I can feel again when I look at pictures and things of that nature. But back to you, take time, and it's okay. You have to grieve yourself. You have to grieve her too. And it's a lot. It really is a lot. So I say to you, be okay with not being okay. Give yourself permission to fall apart when you need to. Give yourself permission to be happy and smile when you want to without feeling guilty for your smile. We done been through hell. And it's like, I feel like I'd be dog if I'm going to lose anything else, whether it's my smile or me being authentic in a moment. Because whatever moment you in that present moment, and you got to be in it or you will miss it. And we've already missed so much. So I say to you, be encouraged. Grieve your old self, write down some stuff you need to write down to yourself, and then thank yourself on a daily basis for having the courage to get through another 24 hours a day. Tell yourself thank you. Tell yourself you proud of yourself when you can. That's was a part of our exercise in the masterclass on Saturday. We literally talk to ourselves. These things are therapeutic, they're important, and we need to do it more often. It seems like it don't work, but sometimes you have to hear yourself say a thing. It has to come out of your mouth back to your ears to penetrate your heart so that you can hear yourself say it and give your own self kind of like a jolt or resuscitate your own self. Because we literally have to participate in our own healing, and we have to choose life every single day. You have to choose, I'm going to get up and be okay today. Even if I'm not okay, I'm going to get up and cry, but I'm going to keep moving forward. We have to continue to keep our own children's legacy alive, although we can get to a point where we feel like nobody cares anymore. So with that being said, I hope you feel a little encouraged and that you take those words and that you apply it, every day, little bits and pieces. Don't try to do too much at once. And I say this to anybody who's watching, who's lost a child, you would choke. That's like me putting a whole plate of food in front of you and telling you to eat everything really quickly in the next 2 minutes. You're going to choke on that. You got to take time to eat your sweet peas. You get your fried chicken, each side of that plate. You got to take your time and eat that and digest that and taste that and feel, just like it's a process. It's digestion. It's a process, the things that we have to go through. And it's almost like we're in a rehabilitation facility. You're in rehab. It's like losing a limb, but we lost children that we birthed that came from our womb. That's not easy. So sometimes, yes, you're going to be pissed off. Yes, you're going to be angry. Yes, you don't want to talk to God today. And tomorrow you might want to talk to him. You're going to have moments. You're going to have times where you feel all of these things, and it's totally normal. It's nothing wrong with you. You're not cracking up. You're not going to lose your mind in any type of way. It's just what we go through, and it's a part of the process of grief.
I don't know what happened to Dominique. I think she lost her feed, but can you hear me, Chandra?
I can.
One of the things I wanted to say too, just listening to you until she gets her connection back, is from what you said about your son. He was just like a ray of light. He was keeping you motivated. He was keeping you like on your toes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing that I kind of think about with my daughter is when I do get to see her again, because I know she's in heaven and I know I will get to see her again, how is she gonna feel about my life or what I did in her absence? How would she feel? I know she would feel sad if I'm always working out. I'm always trying to get in shape. I'm always trying to keep myself up and motivated. And I know that if I were to go down, because I believe she can see me. I believe in heaven. Sometimes God gives her a little peep down to check on us and to see what's going on. And at any given moment, she was to look down and see me. I want her to be proud of me. I want her to feel like if she saw me fall, of course, at the beginning, or there's different times that we can't help but fall out. But she would feel bad if she saw me off my game. She would feel bad if she saw me just give up my life and go grieve for the next 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, next month, who knows, before I get to see her again. But I use how I want to make her proud. I guess that's the way I kind of look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, if Lamana was here, how would she feel about the way that I'm living? And yeah, I have my sad times, but I always just use her as the motivation to keep going. And then also, you can feel however you want to feel. And that's
Yeah.
something that I'm big on because, see, at the end of the day, nobody probably around you, you have your few people, like I said earlier, but there's no one around you that is feeling what you're feeling. When everybody else is jumping around and eating cake and going to concerts and doing whatever, I'm like grieving most of the time. Even if I'm in that room, I'm not as happy as the other people because I'm still grieving, I'm still healing, I'm still
Yes.
going through something, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer in the room. So I don't let my sadness show all the time. I'm not in the corner crying, but inside I don't feel great, but I'm here and I'm putting one step in front of the other. So when I don't really care what anybody thinks, as long as I'm not acting out, as long as I'm not going nuts and they need to stop me from hurting myself or doing something crazy. I have the right to feel how I want to feel for as long as I want to feel it. If I'm in a funk for a couple of days, oh well. If I feel look happy or joyous for a couple of days, oh well. If I 1 minute I'm up, 1 minute down, oh well, because no one knows unless you've gone through it what it feels like. And it's like Dominic said, it's like a roller coaster. Like I could be happy here and hang up this call and probably fall on the floor. I don't know how I'm gonna feel. It's just take it day by day, step by step, but keep putting one foot in front of the other. And like I said, it is a new life. The old me is gone. Every time I look at a picture of myself, I say, dang, that was me before this happened and this is me after. That's how I date all my pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Before and now. And it's nothing, of course you're not going to get over it. You don't move forward. You live in it. You just live in what this is and you try to figure out how to manage it. But you don't, and it's okay because like I said, it's okay because this is just my life right now. There's people that are handicapped or go through things and they might have to live their life in a wheelchair for the rest of their life. But guess what? That's still their life. They have to live with it. They have to deal with it. They still have to go on in life with what they're dealing with. This is just something we have to deal with. And I remember I was talking to Dominique and I was just telling her like this, like we both said, it's not permanent. This life is not permanent. If we believe in God, some people believe in God, some people don't, but I heavily believe in God. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that my daughter is in heaven. And I know that if you listen online to a lot of for me, I go on YouTube and I listen to sometimes when they have like the near death experiences and they talk about how they went to heaven for a little bit and then they came back or what they saw. They always say they saw their loved ones. They always say that they saw their loved ones that passed. And so that's what I look forward to. I just want to live my life in a way so that I can get back to my daughter and see my loved one that passed. And I believe God. I believe he's a man that cannot lie. So if that's what he said it's going to be, then, that's what I would kind of work forward to. And I don't really care. This life is okay. And I live in it and I walk in it. But now I just look forward to what's next.
Right. That's so good, Monica. That's so true. I wanted you to touch on something, Monica, if you don't mind. It was
Mhm.
a statement that you made that really carried me from from our talk, when we talked before one-on-one to now. It literally carried me. But before I tell you what it is, I want you to elaborate on. I want to say this. My daughter made a comment today, my oldest daughter. Um, and my God, that thing touched my soul, what she said, because I understood it. She's their sibling, but I'm their mom, and we felt the exact same thing but in different ways because our relationships are different. She had a
Mhm.
totally different bond with her brothers than I did. They knew some things about each other that I might never know because they share secrets and all of that type stuff. And she made
Mhm.
a comment, and I always say this. I have felt homeless since for 6 years now. I'm trying to find my way home. I'm still trying to find it because my whole life, the dynamics of my life and the structure of where I was 6 years ago is so different from now. Everything about my life has changed. When I say everything, every single thing has changed. And I told her, I said, I'm still trying to figure out where I belong. I'm trying to get home, and I'm tired, and I'm tired of the feeling like I'm living in character sometimes, or I'm tired of feeling the fakeness. And like I see one of our users that saying, I can't see the name, but she said, I remember feeling guilty for laughing and smiling. That used to be me. I was like, oh, this is wrong. My sons can't smile. I shouldn't be doing it either. But then later I'm thinking, well, You know, they will want me to because of their personalities. And they want me to go on, and it'll be robbery if I don't on their behalf and my own and mean it. But anyway, back to the homeless thing, I really feel that way, you know, because so much a part of me has been dismantled by this grieving, and this whole situation is such robbery. And she said, "You know what I feel?" I said, "What do you feel?" She said, "I feel like an orphan." I said, "That's a
Mm,
powerful word. That's it. That's it." I said homeless. You said orphan. You know, that's powerful. I said, I never looked at it as the orphan. And I remember my pastor preaching a sermon called the Spirit of the Orphan. And that's a powerful thing when you feel like you don't have a sense of belonging anymore in this world. Like, where is my place now? I know that I'm more than grief. You know, I was born something different. This is a part of my story that has been written for whatever reason. I don't know. And like I said, in our one of our fellowships, about acceptance. You have to accept this. You don't have to like it, but you have to get
mm,
to a point where this is my plight. I accept this is where I am. And I have to, like I said before, give up on what I thought my life should have been, you know, and what it is right
mhm,
now. I don't agree with none of it most of the time, but I still have to live with this situation here. And me and God got to have a couple of conversations, because when the truth come down to it, and I remember my sister saying, "Dominique, why don't you tell God that you don't feel like he did a good job? He doing a good job." I literally had to say it. I said, "You're right, God. I don't feel like you did a good job with this. It could have been something else you could have done. But
mhm,
this script here, we need to flip it or something. We need to go back and can you change the whole world, rewind it back 6 years ago, and let's redo this. Maybe we need to have a conversation, or maybe we need to do, you know, your logic gets that way, you know, and it's
mhm,
not blasphemy. God knows where you are, and he needs to hear you say, "I'm so pissed off with this plan here. It makes no
mhm,
sense. How is this lining up with purpose? And what does this have to do with it?" And I remember hearing somebody say that, "Oh, now your purpose came because you lost your children." That's a lie. I always had purpose. God didn't have to do anything or allow anything to with my children for me to live on purpose. That's not the God we serve. It's because of it, in spite of, and I got to defend God on that. In spite of, I still worship, and I'm still choosing to do whatever for Him that He's called me to do. And within the grief, within this situation that has happened in my life, I still choose to say yes. I'm still on track. I'm still within purpose, but that didn't have to happen for me to be catapulted in any type of way, you know? And it's that religious thinking that has us that way sometimes. And that what shun a lot of people, and people don't want nothing to do with it because we're not seeing God in the way he really is. Our perception is warped. You know, we've been taught a lot of stuff that we need to unlearn so that we can then um, learn how to deal with grief. A lot of stuff are patterns and stuff in our mind that we've been conditioned to. And that's why some of us are struggling so bad within our grief and moving forward, because of our way of thinking and what some of the things we've been taught. And a lot of us don't want to hear that some of that was wrong, because then that means you have to change some things. There's more work that has to be done, but it's necessary to set you free. And that's for a whole nother form, but it's the truth. And somebody out there needed to hear that. So with that being said, Monica, I wanted you to elaborate on this before we go.
mhm.
You made a comment, and I can't say it. I wanted you to say it because I can't say it like you. You said that if you knew the date and the time that you were gonna pass away and go be with your daughter again, then it would change your whole insight on grief. Just kind of break that down for us a little bit.
I think I mean, that's basically it. I just, a lot of what I spend my time doing is, all of us do is kind of flipping our brains in a way to where we can be okay. It's always just like your mind is just like, how can you view this in a certain way so that you can be okay and be able to go through your day, and I don't remember where I heard this or how it came to me, but I was just telling Dominique, I was like, if I had a date or a time, like If God told me, you know what, next month at this date at this time, you'll be able to see your daughter, you'll be able to see her again, and you'll be with me and you'll be in heaven. How would I feel at that moment? And I was like, at that moment, I felt like all my grief, all my pain, the way I live my life would totally change. I would be extremely happy. I would be extremely excited. I would run around. I would hug everybody. I'd kiss everybody. I'd do everything I need to do. I'd be skipping around. I'd be living whatever life I had left for these next 30 days to the fullest, because I wouldn't feel the pain and I wouldn't feel the sadness of missing her all the time, because I knew exactly when I was going to see her again. But in that, I feel like God also, he told me, like, well, look, who said that you're going to go to 80 years old before you see your daughter again? I think we view it as, oh, I got to go 50 more years, 60 years. I'm going to be 100 years old. I got to go all these years before I see my child. You never know. We didn't think our children were going to leave. So for a lot of people who kind of don't think passing or transition is real, or you got to be 80 years old before this happens, we of all people know that that is not true. In a blink of an eye, any one of us can be gone. So I look at it as whether it be a month before I see my daughter, 6 months, 6 years, 50 years. I don't know. I don't know the date or time, but I do know that, death is real. It can happen at any moment. We're not immortal. So I try to live my life in the space of not knowing exactly when I'm going to go and when I'm going to see her, but trying to live it as best I can until I do see her again. Make her proud, make God proud, and try to get what I'm supposed to get. One of the things that I said when I did my daughter's memorial was, what did your child leave with you? Don't let your child pass and let it be for nothing. Don't let your child pass and you spend your life grieving. Because our children passed for a reason. They went on a little bit before us for a reason. It was whatever they left with you. Was it to get your attention? Was it to get you to change your life so you can go be with them? Was it to, so unfortunately we go through this so we can help the next person that may not be able to go through it? Either way, no matter what, it was not for anything. Don't let your children's passing be for nothing. If you just go down in a ball and never get back up and just live in grief until the day you pass, you let your child's death be for nothing. It's not for nothing. It was for something. We don't know exactly what it was, but God will give you the answer. I can't speak on anything else but God, because he's the only person that has picked me up and taken me through day by day. But he doesn't just have people just die off for nothing. It's for a reason. So, pray if you can pray. If you can't pray, just you try to talk to him. If you can't talk to him, just, if it's a thought, just please show me. If you can't tell me why, then just show me give me the purpose of what you want me to do with this. I don't know why this happened, but what do you want me to do with it? Even when I'm driving the car, I'm like, okay, this happened, Lord. So I'm here. So now that I'm here, I might as well be open to be used how you want to use me. What's left? What are you holding on for? What do you think? Your most precious gift is kind of got stripped from your hands. It's the way it feels. The most precious thing you love the most in life got stripped from your hands for now. Not forever, but just for now, until you can do your part of whatever you need to do so that you can get back and be with them. And so I'm like, well, I have nothing to lose. What do you have to lose? The only thing you have to lose is the opportunity to be with your child again. If you don't do what the intention was that God wanted you to do with this. In order for you to see your child, we believe our children are in heaven. I know my daughter's in heaven, and we believe our children are in heaven. If you believe in God, God also said there were some things we needed to do to get to heaven. So, I was telling Dominique, well, I remember having a conversation with God 2 weeks before my daughter passed. And I was driving in the car, and I used to go to church every weekend, and I was involved and stuff. And I said, well, God, what am I doing this for? Okay, I see these pictures of you in this robe. That ain't exactly what just gonna make me just want to just change my life. I'm singing these songs, but I'm trying to get to heaven. But what am I really working for? And 2 weeks later, my daughter passed out of nowhere. Was not expected. She had a condition, but she was not expected to pass from it. She was not sick. She was just living her life normal. And God told me, you know what? I might not have been able, and this is just me. I don't speak for anybody else. But God told me, he said, you know what? You wouldn't come for me, but I know you will come for her. And at the end of the day, I think God's mission is to get us to get ourselves to heaven by any means necessary. Sometimes it's, yeah, you know, we ain't going to just get it by clapping and singing in the front pew. What I thought I was doing in church is a complete joke to the person that I am now. And I haven't been to church in 2 years because of COVID and everything, but I do more ministry now, and I have a more closer relationship with God now than I ever had in my life.
Wow.
And he said, by any means necessary, it's temporary. It is a little painful for now. It is very painful, but by any means necessary, I got to get you. I got to get you home. Like you said, you're an orphan. God got to get you home. So if you won't come for him, you're going to come for your kid. So whatever he got to do, he going to get you there. And it sucks and it's painful, but it's for a moment. It is not forever. So, you know, you kind of go through this life looking. I look forward to when I get to go to heaven now. I never viewed life like that. I look forward to getting to see my daughter again, to seeing what God has up there, because it's got to be greater than what's here, because the pain is down here. You can have it. But I just think God said by any means necessary. If you look at this world, which we all know is getting crazier by the day, we don't know what's going to happen from day to day. We don't know when God is going to come back. He said, I come like a thief in the night at any moment. So if he got to put you through a little pain, not a little, but tremendous pain for a year, 2 years, 6 years, or whatever, he's 10 years to get you home for eternity, then that's what I got to walk through. And the last thing I will say is I remember somebody said, I feel so bad for you. I feel so bad for you. And I told them, I said, don't feel bad for me because I'm going to heaven. Don't feel bad for me. Yeah, it hurts now, but I'm not going to be hurting for no eternity, burnt, whatever he going to have going on. And I know I'm going to be with him. And if it wasn't, and there's other ways he could have did it, but this is the fast forward track he put me on. This is the hurry up and get right track, because without this, I never would have did a 180 in such a short amount of time. And it hurts. It's painful. It hurts. It's like, God, I'd be mad. Couldn't you have did something else? Like we all say. But if you trust him, you got to trust him all the way. Not just when it feels good, and not just when he's doing what we want us to do, and not just when we get what we call a blessing. This could be a blessing in disguise. The blessing is when he come back, we're going to get raptured up because we didn't pay our price down here.
You're right about it.
That's how I look at it. And that's the only thing I can look at. Because if I look at anything else, I'm going to be mad. Like you said, why is my daughter's friends growing up? Well, how come I don't get to go to a wedding? How come I don't get to see her have a kid? How come I don't get to, what did I do wrong? Why do I deserve to watch this? But it's for a moment. It's for a time. It's not permanent. And if you view this as, we don't live here permanently, we're just here for a little bit of time, but we got a great reward waiting for us, the greatest reunion. There's several scriptures in the Bible where he talks about, don't feel sad like the people that have no hope down here. For death is just for a time. It's not permanent. He told you, like, don't feel hurt, but don't give up all hope, because this is temporary. This is not your home. And if you notice, he says in the Bible, he says this world a lot. He always refers to the world as this world, which tells you there is another world. And so, like I say, and the super last thing I will say is that I'm sure for a lot of us, when our children first passed, we saw signs of our children all over the place. Like we knew they were doing different things. So if our kids who we are connected to, who are a part of us, could go give us signs that they're still here on the other side, just know that is waiting for us as well. But you gotta, they on the good side, and that's where we gotta go. So that's just do your part. Don't let their passing early be for nothing. Get what you got to get out of it, because if it was that serious that God allowed them to transition earlier to get our attention, it's something really serious he wants us to get out of it.
That's right. That's a power. Everything that you said held so much weight and holds so much weight, and it's such a testament that God used the life of your daughter to save your soul. That's literally what he did. And my God, we might not, like I always say, we may never know. You got to be okay without knowing why. You have to be okay. You have to learn to be okay, because some of the answers you may never get. You won't get until you get to the other side. And you got to learn to be okay with that. God is not obligated to give us an answer on what he decided to do or what he allowed to do. And we have to learn to be, he's majestic, he's sovereign. So thank you so much for sharing that. You said a mouthful, and it's a lot. Like I told you before, what you said held me over all the way to now. And I'm going to take everything you said and unpack it for my own life. That's what Hello Again is all about. It's about a community. It's about family. It's about everybody in different states and stages of grief. You got some people just entering into it, some people in the middle of it, some people coming out to the other side of the rainbow where they've accepted it. They're doing different things in honor of their children. It's not saying that they don't hurt, because that's not true. They do. They're just utilizing, taking that pain and turning it into fuel to get them to heaven, like Monica said, to our desired destination. So with that being said, continue to encourage each other on the Hello Again page. Continue to come to the fellowships if you're in this area. Continue to participate with the prayer every first Monday and the virtual sessions on the fourth Fridays. You know, everything is free. And it's designed for you. If you're in the middle, then you can reach back and pull that new person that's coming in that feels suicidal, that feels like they can't make it, or they're going to lose themselves, or don't even care about getting out of bed and putting on clothes or taking care of their other children. We need you guys. Everybody has to work together hand to hand. Turn around, get the strength you need and pull the next person up out of the hole. That's what we're trying to do for the ones on the end that has progressed and that has grown and found strength. Pull the ones in the middle, and the middle pulls the ones that coming in. So it's like a chain reaction. This is not just the organization. It's not just another grief support. It is a ministry. It is a thriving family. And we want to make sure that the word continues to get out. So if you or someone that you know has lost a child and you're struggling, share Hello Again with them. And if you need more one-on-one coaching, you can go to www.naomistribe.com. That is my official business. It falls under the umbrella of Hello Again. Everything Hello Again offers is free. But if you want one-on-one coaching for a 5-week series with me, I'll do the one-on-one coaching. I do the hour power where we work together for an hour, but everything is on the website. So you can go there right now and you can book a session with me at naomistribe.com if you're interested in one-on-one coaching sessions. I am a certified life bereavement coach now, so that I can assist you further, because sometimes you might need just a little bit more. You might need a prescription just for you and what you're going through. And what I do is take biblical principles and apply it to practical life strategies to help you with where you are personally. So if you're interested in applying, go to naomistribe.com, book your session today. I promise you, you need to invest in your mental health, and that's where you can go over and do so. Again, if you are a part of Hello Again, thank you so much for believing in what I do and for allowing me to be able to keep my son's legacy alive. So many people in different states and locally as well know the name Maikisa Mayan. So I'm choosing to make sure that their heart continues to beat through me. That's what this is about. So their life is still going on through me. And if you're a mom or a dad and you lost your child, you can wake them up again inside of you. They're still a part of you. They'll always be a part of you. You'll always be their parent. That'll never die. It'll never change. Love never dies. Love never dies. So thank you, Monica. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Shonda, y'all, for joining us on tonight. And if you haven't gotten my book, Hello Again, The Other Side of the Rainbow, go to Amazon.com, type in Hello Again, The Other Side of the Rainbow, get your copy today. Also, if you want to sow a seed in this ministry, go to Cash App. It's $ Hello Again Dominique. You can go to PayPal as well. Any way you want to sow for this ministry to continue to go, and so that we can reach as many families as possible. Because if we can change each other and help each other grow, we can change our community and we can make a difference around the world. So thank you guys so much for believing in exactly what I do. And you guys stay encouraged on tonight. Again, thank you, Shonda. Thank you, Monica. And thank you, Miss Angela, for taking the time to share your angels with us on tonight. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Don't forget to like this video, share it and tag to encourage somebody else. It's something that I'm sure was said that can help provide healing for the next person who is struggling. Because believe me, everybody who is watching, if you've lost a child or you've lost children, your day will come. If it's not tomorrow, your day will come, as far as you might not feel like getting up tomorrow. You might not feel like doing the things that you would normally do, because grief is a beast, and you cannot You cannot do this alone. You need support. You need each other. So with that being said, ladies, I need you guys. I thank you for your love, your grace, and your support. Join me next Monday in prayer. We're going to post the Hello Again conference call number on the Hello Again page. We've been having a powerful time doing prayer and elaborating on scripture on that line. Some powerful things have been happening on the Hello Again prayer line. So please join us on the prayer line if you can. It's the first Monday of every month at 7 o'clock p.m. So thank you guys so much. I love you, ladies. Thank y'all so much. And we will respond to the comments in the comment section. Hey, Sean, I see you just joined. And it's my pleasure. I can't see the names. It's saying Facebook users saying thank you, Dominique. It's my pleasure. Don't forget to share this video with somebody. And I will see you guys, or you guys will see me during the next fellowship. All the things we got upcoming will be posted here as well, and reminders and all of that. So thank you guys so much. You guys have a beautiful night. And ladies, you guys stay in touch. And I love you guys. If you need anything, just inbox me. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Thank y'all.
Good night. You're welcome.